this place is probably all closed too. Everybody's going to go to church. But I told her somewhat crying, wants us to do, and she knew that I was taking some of it to heart. This looks like an old town, like they preserved some of the old, the way it was a long time ago. Okay, we got to take 28. But she appreciated it. She saw that I was changing. I used to be an ass. When I was Catholic, I was thinking that I was the Catholic religion, what they taught was true. And I thought, well, you got to make sure everybody does what they're supposed to do to go to heaven. And that's how a lot of them think. That's how a lot of Protestants think even. And I wanted everybody to say the rosary. I thought that's what you're supposed to do. And go to Mass and learn the Mass and everything. And it's like, I was an ass. I was being a problem to everyone. I was pissing them off. I didn't even know it. I thought I was following and that's what they raised us as Catholic. We were told to say grace and go to CCD and go to Mass, and we got in trouble if we didn't go to Mass. Get your ass out of bed and get to Mass. If you don't, if we're not going, if we already went, you work or something, you got permission to take the car to go to Mass, and you better take it. That's how we were brought up. You made sure that you were ready to go to Mass if you were going with them. Had to, it was required because that's what the church required. They were only doing what we thought was right. And I found out, it was even different, years ago. And I thought that's what they grew up in, and they need to. My attitude was they need to stay with what they grew up with. And in reality, the church was changing because God told them this is all messed up. You better shape up or ship out is basically what God told them. And they did. They changed. And I didn't know that God told them to change. I thought we were slacking off as a society. I thought we better shape up and go back to the old way. Well, I was wrong. I mean, how would I know I was wrong? And I thought, well, if it was good enough for Grandma and Mom and Dad, and it's good enough for me. They followed it. And our forefathers followed it. Why are we getting lax all of a sudden? And I came home when Mom had cancer the first time, and I said, let's go to church. He brought us up to go to church. We had to go to church. So she went, but she wouldn't have gone. She wouldn't have gone if I wouldn't have had her go. I thought, what the heck? Why would she not be going to church? Well, she had already given up I didn't know. When I left, I kind of announced it. Because I'm not into that anymore. I was actually kind of mad that I had fallen for something so false. I was not happy that I had followed something that dark. And Mom was kind of quiet about it. She didn't say anything when she left. I don't even know exactly when she left. But, I got pretty deep into it, and I was like, damn, I was swimming in the septic system and didn't know it. So Mom, when I left, at first she thought, oh, he's going for another goofy religion again. And then she realized, I think later when I lived with her and stuff, she realized, oh, this has got a good effect on him. This is an improvement. She's teaching him something. She's teaching him not to be an asshole. I think that's kind of what, I think she was kind of glad after a certain point that I got involved in it. That I wasn't just studying Amma or whatever, that there was other things that I was studying besides that were similar, that were teaching me the right way to conduct myself. And she realized, oh, this is good. Amma's got a good effect on him. And she even said something like, yeah, Amma's even taught you how to cut vegetables and stuff. Because I think she kind of perceived that I wasn't good at it before. She saw me working in the kitchen and says, looks like you learned something from that woman that you've been talking about, because and maybe I did. Maybe I learned some physical things too, besides just the spiritual stuff. Because they taught us in the kitchen how to prepare that food. I still wasn't terribly good at it, but I think I learned something. But I think I learned a lot. And I think it really made a big difference in my life. It saved me from losing my inheritance, I think, too. Because if I would have been preachy and everything, Mom would have just been pissed at me all the time, and I probably wouldn't have made it through. We would have pissed each other off, and it just wouldn't have worked out. The way I think that helped mitigate some of the hardness of, okay, 7. Yeah, this is where the thing comes. I think they have to stop. I don't have a stop sign. Okay. So now we're getting into the pretty area. This is going to be the scenic area. Okay, let me turn again. Oh, okay. Quick stop. There's another ace. They got a lot of aces down here, too. They got a lot of hardware stores that we have. Pretty much the same stuff we have. It's a different area, though. I mean, it's definitely a different culture. Like, different. They can tell I was from the north by the way I talk. They knew I was from Wisconsin, sort of. Gotta stay on 7. I would like to eat out, but once I get into the areas that are populated, it's not going to be cheap anymore. If I can eat out in this area, I might be able to get a nice breakfast for around $10. Otherwise, maybe I'll, if the cooler's still cold, maybe I'll just get something out of that. We're almost to 40. We're at 1,087.1 miles. The most scenic area is north of 40. Okay, Russellville. Somebody mentioned Russellville. Is that where that lady was from?